Are you stalking me? This man is fucking stalking me and he's harassing me. And I can't do shit about it. Who can I tell? This is not a game. This man is really crazy.
You give me a vibe and a feeling like one I won't never see again. This music, like I said, she won't heal it. Like one I won't never see again. We blow the smoke.
Hello, my queens and kings. It's your girl Maroon Nikki back again, time and time again with another video. Yeah. Okay. Y'all already know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. Okay. My loyal royals, go ahead and push that like button. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Go ahead and push that like button, push that subscribe button, and push that post notification bell because I already know and the loyal royals already know that you'll love it here. So go ahead and do that because I'm already seeing into the future and I already know that you're here to stay, baby. Don't even fight the feeling. Don't fight the feeling. Don't fight the feeling. Okay. You already know we back with another prison story time. If you're unfamiliar with this segment where I talk about my experiences as a female corrections officer working in a male prison and female prison, that's coming up very soon, y'all. Go ahead and check out my playlist and I will post that above. I also give very helpful tips if you're interested in becoming a CO yourself. Go ahead and check that out and make sure you're caught up because some things you might not understand because you're not caught up. And you can't blame me, you gotta blame yourself because I told you where to go, all right? So if you decide to keep watching and you don't know what's going on, that's your fault. Now, I'm splitting this story time up into part 1 and part 2 because I have heard y'all loud and clear that y'all just want a little bit more length on a video or two so that y'all can really get into the story time, all right? So I'm doing that for y'all. I'm doing it. I heard you loud and clear. When this video ends, go ahead and check the description box or the pinned comment down below because very shortly afterwards, I will have part 2 available for you to watch in the same week, baby, in the same week. And I'm also making sure that these videos are very detailed because some people be acting like common sense is not something that they have. So I'm here to break it down for you even further. Break it down for those that's a little deaf in the back. Let's get straight into it because you know what I don't like to do and that's what? Waste time. So let me give y'all the background. Let me give you the rundown so you can understand why I felt the way I felt in a moment. Make sure you're watching this whole video throughout because if you try to skip past anything, you're not gonna know what's going on. I'm giving you the whole straight story, sticking to the point. So if you skip past, you're gonna get lost. So let's talk about it. As you already know, I was in phase training, okay? If you haven't watched my other videos to understand what phase training is, let me just let y'all know real quick. Basically, in the beginning, we did book work. We had to learn the policies and procedures before we even stepped foot in the prison. We had to get our background checks. We had to do CPR certification and all those things like that before we can go into the prison. If you failed a certain amount of tests, you wouldn't make it. So we had to pass that phase before we could move on to the next one. When we were in our next phase, that is when we actually stepped foot inside the prison and we were shadowing officers and shadowing different posts, different positions of the job. When I was in the classroom setting, I was actually drawn to the younger crowd in my class because there were some older people and there were also some people that weren't going to be in our prison, but they were training for a prison nearby. That's pretty much why they were in our class. So I gravitated towards the younger people that were going to be in the same facility as I was. There were these two that I ended up gravitating towards the most, and I'm gonna call them thing 1 and thing 2. You really couldn't see one without the other, for real. And they was just both on some other shit. Thing 1 and thing 2, I was fucking with them. We even carpooled together to work, all that. I was really rocking with them, okay? They're very important to this story, but we're not gonna touch on them too much right now, but trust me, you're gonna hear about them again very soon. So we went into the facility for shadowing and waiting for our academy date. All of the people that were in my facility, the young crowd that I was with, we ended up getting split. Some was on one day shift and some was on the other day shift. I ended up being on the same day shift with thing 1 and thing 2 and some others. The other people that was there with us shadowing were not in the same class as us. They were in the class before. So I didn't really have that rapport and we didn't really get close like that because I don't really know y'all. I became cool with them later down the line, but in the beginning, I was really with thing 1 and thing 2 because I don't really know y'all like that. Now there's different sergeants on each shift. The sergeant that we had was the operations sergeant. He would tell us where we were going, what post we were shadowing, which officer we were with, when we should come back, what we should do. He was responsible for these things. Now we're gonna give this sergeant a name. We're gonna call him Biggie. I'm saying Biggie because bro, this man was mad big. Like, he was tall as all the fuck. Green giant ass nigga standing over the top of me. Like, if you towering over me, you're tall because I'm already 6 feet tall. So if you're towering over me, you're in the higher end of 6 feet, my nigga. Like, you probably 7 feet tall for real. You're big. Like, legs long. Like, so we gonna call him Biggie. When I first met Biggie, he came off a certain way. He seemed like the type that was stern. He don't take no nonsense. This is how you're supposed to be. He was coming off like that stern officer type thing that you be seeing in like the movies type shit. Like, he don't fuck around. That's how he would come off, right? So I'm thinking, okay, yeah, he seems like a great sergeant. I can learn a lot from him. He looks like he does his job and he does that shit well. Over time, he would kind of try to get in and talk to us and, you know, kind of develop a rapport with us because he wanted to understand what type of officers we were. So me not thinking nothing of it, I'm like, okay, he's our sergeant. He's gonna want to talk to us because we're gonna be up under him and we have to report to him and ask him questions and this, that, and the third. So yeah, he would try to find a way to talk to all of us. He would definitely talk to me and he would talk to thing 1 and thing 2. And you know, everything was just kind of cool. This is what I thought. Just watch. I'm gonna put y'all on. Everybody could kind of tell that I was always with thing 1 and thing 2. I mean, we carpool together. Like, come on now. We gotta be some type of cool. People never really had nothing to say about it or nothing like that. They just was like, okay, there go them 3. Like, there they go. So one day we was outside assisting with the chow hall. As trainees, we was waiting on our academy assignment date. We was pretty much doing anything that they needed us to do for real. So we were working the doors, opening it and closing it. Like, the inmates could not walk in and out by themselves. We had the key and we would control who comes in and who goes out. So that's what we were standing outside in the cold doing for most of the day because we had to do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 12-hour shifts, right? Gotta love it. When we was assisting for chow with the doors and stuff like that, he would be there running it because, you know, he has to oversee us. So 2 people was working the chow doors, right? We was just kind of standing there doing shakedowns and pat downs and stuff like that. And I was with thing 1 and thing 2. And he had seen me talking to them and I was talking about like Jamaican food and this, that, and the third. So he comes and jumps into the conversation, was like, oh, you Jamaican? And I'm like, yeah, my family's from Jamaica. So he told me he was from the islands too. Okay, he's from Barbados. I was kind of happy because I'm like, yes, like, I haven't seen that many Caribbean people in that part of Virginia where I was living, all right? There was no Caribbean food, no nothing, okay? Everybody was eating KFC, Popeyes, McDonald's, Burger King, and that's about it. I can't get up and be like, you know, I want a patty. I can't get up and say, oh, you know, I want some chicken, some curry chicken, or I want some manishwata. They had no Caribbean stores within like over a 30-mile radius. There was no nothing. I couldn't find groceries. I couldn't find nothing. There was nothing there besides the fast food restaurants and grocery stores and about a couple restaurants here and there, but they wasn't even that good. So when I came across another Caribbean, I'm like, yo, like, I was happy. I'm like, oh my God, I've been trying to cook. I can't find a place to get the ingredients that I need. He was like, oh, I can tell you everything, that exactly where it's at. He was telling me about this international market that was about like 30 miles away, but he was like, that's where you can get the stuff because there's nowhere nearby. Cause y'all, we was pretty much in the fucking country. I get so excited when I come across other Caribbeans, especially in a place where it's not dominantly Caribbean, because I just feel like we just be having that understanding. Like, I love West Indian people. I love Caribbean people. We was talking about different things, like what kind of ingredients I use in this food, and he was telling me this, and when he started cooking and all type of stuff like that, it was very PG, baby. It was G rated, all right? We wasn't talking about nothing. There was no flirting. I was just genuinely interested in knowing more about how I can continue to thrive as a Caribbean woman in this place where I don't even see black people. I just wanted to know how I could thrive as a Caribbean woman in a PWA type of situation. So I just was like, help me, okay? And he told me like, yeah, just give me your number and I will send the information to you. So we couldn't have our phones or anything like that. And it was just too much for me to retain because he was throwing everything at me and I was just mad excited, y'all. So he was like, yeah, just give me your number and I will send you the name of the place. I will tell you exactly where to go. And he gave me his notepad and his pen and I wrote down the number and I was like, yeah, please send me all the information because I don't want to lose it. Later that day, Biggie texted me, right? And Biggie was like, okay, the international market is in this town. He was pretty much saying like he had to take me to go see it or some shit like that. And I'm thinking like, take me to go see it?
That's suspicious.
And I was just like, okay, what's the name of the place? He was like, I should just show you. It's better if I show you or whatever.
That's weird.
So I'm thinking, okay. Like, I didn't want to be rude because I just got there. I'm gonna be real with y'all. In that state, everybody's super friendly. So when I think that someone has an ulterior motive, a lot of the times I was getting proven wrong because they genuinely just wanted to be helpful. So every time I kept thinking that somebody was trying to do something grimy to me and they just kept proving me wrong back to back to back to back, I kind of tried to have a more open mind with this type of situation because I could very well be in that situation again where somebody was like, no, baby girl, I was just being nice, trying to help you out. So I thought that this was one of those situations. So I said, oh, okay. I said okay to him, but I never really planned on actually going out with him. Let's just make that very clear because it came off kind of weird to me. Like, even though people are nice out here, that's just a little much. I wasn't feeling it. So I was like, okay, you know, just for the sake of keeping the peace, because at the end of the day, he is my higher up. He is the person that I report to. So I don't really want to have no problems so early. And I could be misreading it, to be honest with you. If I were to show this to people, some people be like, no, he's just being nice. And some people be like, no, that's weird. The only time I'm going to start blacking is when it's evident, clearly evident that this man is doing the most. So just keep that in mind. It's like, all right, we should pick a day and this, that, and the third. And I just kind of blew him off and was like, oh yeah, no, I have to do some other work. I have a side job, and we never talked about it again. I felt like because he thought he had my number and he had a way to contact me outside of work, that he automatically had like cool points. Like, he automatically was getting in where he fit in when it came to me. And it really wasn't the case. But I mean, he wasn't doing nothing that kind of made me feel like this is an HR violation. You know what I'm saying? So over time, he just was kind of like growing fond of me. And I thought it's just because we was cool as Caribbean people. I know to y'all might feel like I'm being oblivious, but I don't think so. I honestly kind of didn't really see that coming. Like, it rubbed me wrong, but I didn't see the way this was about to transpire. Instead of assigning me to places, he would ask me where I felt like going. And I told him where I wanted to go, and he'd be like, okay. Like, to him, at this point, I couldn't do no wrong. And I thought it's just because we had that, like, that bond. Like, you know, we Caribbean, you know what I'm saying? Ha ha. But it wasn't that. And I feel like he was trying to really go harder than what he really was, because his patois was, that shit, mash up. All right? His patois was fuck. But he still kept trying to speak it to me, and I was like, stop. Because I really don't think people from Barbados sound like that. Stop that. And I used to be like, don't talk like that. Just speak like your coworkers, okay? Just talk regular. Because you're doing too much right now. So let me describe Biggie. Now, Biggie was not attractive to me. In fact, his face kind of repulsed me a little bit. I was far from attracted to this man. I really did not even have no type of interest in him. And you're my superior. You are my boss. I report to you and answer to you. When it comes to being professional in the workplace, I'm all of that and then some. I don't even see you in that way. So I was starting to get the vibe that, you know, he was feeling me a little bit. And I was kind of like, this seems like more than just a Caribbean connection. This seems like he's actually like interested in me. So I ended up going to thing 1 and thing 2, and I was like, Biggie kind of acting a little weird. They was like, you don't know, he's interested in your ass. And I was like, oh no, I'm not interested in him. And they were like, good, because he's dating somebody that's a whole lieutenant. And I was like, which lieutenant? So I'm just gonna start naming any kind of thing because I'm running out of names. And I can't think of them off the top of my head, and I be delaying the video. So we just gonna call her Lieutenant Honey Bun because she was small and sweet. She was adorable. So I was like, he with Lieutenant Honey Bun? They were like, yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, definitely. I was like, oh nah, like I'm not even trying to get caught up in that mess. I'm gonna start distancing myself from him because he coming off like he liked me. So when I was distancing myself, like during chow and stuff, like he would try to talk to me and I keep it real short because I'm like, nah, like I'm not even trying to give off no impression that I'm feeling you because I'm really not. So I would always go over and talk to thing 1 and thing 2. When Sergeant Biggie started noticing that I wasn't talking to him and I was spending my time talking to thing 1 and thing 2, he was not happy.
Oh, hell no!
He started using his authority to assign them to posts that he would never assign them to. He started giving them mad tasks instead of evenly distributing it between other officers that were in training like myself and the other people that was in the other class. They started realizing like, yo, why every 5 seconds he keep picking with us? And then they started to put together that it was because of me. Thing 1 was like, look, I'm gonna be honest. We gonna kind of distance ourselves from you because it seems like every time you talk to us, we get assigned to do something and everybody else is just kind of sitting on their ass, and that's not fair to them. And I understood that because I was like, yo, this is wrong. And I can't tell him, oh yeah, why you acting like that? Because it would be a reach. Y'all need to understand, this would be a reach. Why you seem like you got a problem with me, so you punishing everybody else? If you do not have facts to back up the accusations that you're making in the professional field where this could be a career, especially no state job, then you have no way of really saying that. Because I'm not about to sit here and go off of impulse and he said, she said, especially with somebody that's higher ranked than I am. They're locked into the state and I'm still in my probationary period, haven't even been here more than 2-3 months, and I'm sitting here trying to make a complaint against this man. Who you think they're really gonna get rid of? Me or them? I just had to play along with it because there's nothing proving this. I'm just saying, making assumptions. They can't see this on the camera. I'm just making assumptions at this point if I try to go to HR or say that to anybody. So they were distancing themselves from me and I was distancing myself from Biggie because I'm like, this is becoming too much. Over time, I started asking to do different tasks. I started giving myself work so that I didn't have to be at the chow halls with him. So I started asking my lieutenants if there's other things that they would like me to do. I would literally try to get assigned other places. And when he would call and ask why I'm not there, I would say, well, my lieutenant said that I can do this because my lieutenant is ranked higher than him. He has to abide. I was kind of trying to play that game to get away from him. So over time, he started finding ways to come to the post that I was at, shadowing at. He would come to try to find ways to be over there, knowing he had no business over there, just so he could see me. Now, y'all, I was starting to get creeped out because I'm like, yo, why are you doing all of this? Like, you starting to creep me the fuck out, my nigga. Like, you showing a pattern. Anywhere I go, you go. Like, I could literally be all the way up in the front. You find your way to go all the way up in the front just so you have to get stripped down and go back through the scanner again just to see me. Like, come on now. I've already said to y'all, before I started opening my mouth, I spent a month in that facility not speaking and watching people's behaviors and their mannerisms and their patterns, okay? So whenever he would come to my building or come to where I'm posted at to shadow, even because I wasn't there out working the chow hall with him, it would raise a red flag for me because it's like, you never did this before. This is not even part of your pattern, your daily behavior. You're changing up just so you could come see me. It's clear. So now I'm starting to get creeped the fuck out because it's like, yo, why is you doing this? Like, you kind of making me uncomfortable. Not to mention the person that you're dealing with, the woman that you've been with for mad long and live with is a lieutenant on the same shift as us. This was a dangerous type of situation. I already saw it clear as day. Just like how you can see a car coming up the road and you can hear a car coming up the road, I can see the bullshit on the way. So I backed the fuck up. I've gotten a lot wiser. I started using my head more, y'all. You proud of me? Okay, so now I'm like not feeling it. I'm on lookout for him. Like, I'm not feeling him. Like, I just want to kind of get away from him. And I can't tell anybody why he made me uncomfortable because I felt like, okay, after what he texted me, I'm the one that gave him my number. And then I was also feeling away because I was like, damn, I'm the one that was engaging in conversations with him thinking that it was strictly just, you know, simple, but maybe I might have given him the wrong impression, but I know I didn't. So I'm just like, I don't know why he feels this way. I'm not the type of person to give off that type of energy at work, especially because I was in the beginning phases and I'm super serious. Like, I didn't get to show my personality at all yet. I was on full alert. So I don't know where you got this perception that I was interested in you. I don't know why you think that. I never sat here and had long conversations with him. We strictly only talked about this international market. I don't know how he's growing fond of me like this. I don't understand. Like, yo, respect your girl. I don't know if that's his wife or what, but respect her. So I'm still trying to stay away from him, still ducking him. He's still finding ways to find me, but I'm getting more and more clever. I'm watching the cameras to see when he walks up to the building so I could go to the bathroom. Like, I'm doing different things so I can avoid him. Even though I shouldn't have to do all of this, I'm doing it. Thing one and thing two come walking up to me. Thing one is like, yo, I think Biggie is really feeling you. And I'm like, why do you say that? They're like, if you hear the type of stuff that he's saying to us about you, it's crazy. So I'm like, what is he saying to y'all? He's like, yo, he's pretty much saying that he want to fuck you. He can't wait. He want to put your legs up.
Huh?
He's telling me all the nasty things that Biggie is telling them that he wants to do to me. And I really felt like he was telling them because he knew word was going to get back to me. But I don't know what he thought was going to happen because when word got back to me, I was disgusted. I was mad uncomfortable. Why is my sergeant saying this to officers in training and like comfortably talking about it with y'all?
What was the reason? What was the reason?
They were like, I don't know. He just walked up to us and told us, and like, we can't walk away because where are we gonna go? We're assigned to wherever he tells us. So I'm getting pissed because I'm like, this man is fucking weird. Like, he's really rubbing me wrong and I'm not feeling it. So now I'm really avoiding him. Like, I'm really avoiding him. Anytime he gives me a pose, I just keep it super simple, keep it short. Yes, sir. No, sir. And then I just keep it moving. The more I'm avoiding him, the madder he's getting. You can see it in the way he's acting. You can see it in his eyes that he's mad that I'm not paying him attention. But he's not going to take it out on me. He's going to take it out on everyone around me. A lot of times when I was in the building shadowing other officers, I would come across Lieutenant Honeybun. She and I ended up talking on multiple occasions because I was always on her side of the boulevard. And she was the lieutenant that was responsible for those buildings on that side. I would see her a lot. Lieutenant Honeybun was so sweet to me, y'all. She's seen the worst of it all and the best of it all. She had been through so much. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell her business, but she is a strong, beautiful woman. So to see how she was acting and to see how the person that she lays down next to every night is acting around me was making me even more mad. I was definitely always trying to be up under her because I noticed that if I get up under her a little bit more, he would kind of like stay away. That was the repellent. If he kept coming over that way to come see her or pretend like he wanted to go see her, it was gonna come off as suspicious. Because to be honest with you, I never knew they were in a partnership. I had no idea that they even knew each other because they were so distant from each other and they stayed away from each other so much that you would never know that they had something going on. So I really feel like that's why he stayed away, because if you start coming around now, nigga, that's a red flag right there. I was riding this out as long as I could ride it. I was desperate for my academy date to come, okay? I wanted to get the fuck out of there because this was such a tight predicament that I was in. The pressure was on, you could feel it. One day in muster or formation or whatever you want to call it, where we line up and we talk about what's going to happen for the day before we go to our post and everything like that in the morning. Every sergeant gets to give a little speech. Every lieutenant gets to give a little speech. The captain gets to give a little speech, and whomever else. Usually, Sergeant Biggie doesn't say too much. He just be like, let's have a great day and leave it at that. So this particular day, he goes up in front of everybody and was like, all right, I just want to let y'all know that y'all got to watch what y'all post on the internet. Make sure you're mindful of what you post because people can see. So if you go on Facebook and say, and then he starts reciting something. Now, when he was reciting it, I was like, why does that sound so familiar? Where have I heard someone say that before? So I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, wait a minute. Oh no, hold on. I didn't say nothing. I kept it in my mind because I was like, nah, this can't be. So I was assigned to a person and I was shadowing that post until it was lunchtime. And I was eager to get to lunch because I was like, no, there's no way. Something's not right. Something's not right. You can't be serious. As soon as I walk out of the compound and I go out to go to my locker to get my phone, I instantly go on Facebook because I have to make sure I'm not losing my mind. I go on my Facebook and I start scrolling. All the way down to 2013. What he was saying during formation was my post from 2013 on Facebook.
So I completely forgot to even explain why I was on Facebook talking crazy in the first place. But let me tell y'all. So the reason why I was on Facebook wilding is because this boy that I knew through my friends, I saw him cyberbullying a special needs kid who was trying to pursue their rap career. And the kid was saying that he felt like he didn't need to be on this earth anymore because of the way this man just kept picking at him and picking at him and picking at him. So I was like, okay, since nobody won't get him in line, allow me. Since you want to start talking crazy, come try that shit with me since you big and bad, because that's pussy. Like, you acting corny as fuck, you lame as hell. So yeah, I went in on his ass. I violated, and I don't give a fuck. I'll do it again because it's fuck that nigga.
He dug through over 5 years worth of posts and sat up there in that formation and recited it word for word. I'm sure you can understand how uncomfortable I felt, how creeped out, how weirded out I felt. Bro, are you stalking me? Yo, at this point, you're a stalker, okay? You're a stalker. You're literally telling people that you want to do things to me. You're digging through my Facebook. Like, yo, You're fucking weird and you're fucking crazy. You're hunting me down in other buildings. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, what's really wrong? Like, you need help. Like, that's all I'm thinking. I literally was disgusted. I was sick to my stomach. I had goosebumps. I was stressed the fuck out because I'm like, yo, this man, this is a demon I'm dealing with. Like, this is a different type of beast that I'm dealing with. Do you understand what I'm up against right now? Like, do you really understand what the fuck I'm up against? Both of them are locked into the state. She gonna stick beside her nigga, trust me. Because this can't be the first time he's been acting like this. And this probably won't be the last. And he's gonna do what he wants to do. And here I am, a young new trainee, trying to figure their way out, and I'm not even past my probationary period. And this man is literally acting like a fucking predator. This man is fucking stalking me and he's harassing me. And I can't do shit about it. Who can I tell? Because only I know what's going on. Nobody else is picking up on this shit. And he looked me square in my eyes as he was saying that status aloud. I knew that message was for me. Y'all, I was scared. He's scaring me. Like, that's how I felt. So I tried my best to avoid him because I'm like, no, this is not a game. This man is really crazy. I started really avoiding him, and the more I kept avoiding him, the more he kept talking about me to Thing One, the more he just was on his bullshit. So time goes by and I get my academy date. And y'all, I am so relieved. For about 5 to 6 weeks, I will be away from this man. I won't be at my facility. I will be somewhere off in the fucking boonies, and I won't be around him. And I was so ecstatic because he was scaring the shit out of me. And if you think that he stopped when I went to the academy, you're fucking lying to yourself. It got worse. It was so much going on. I couldn't take it. I was overwhelmed, okay? It was too much, and it got even worse when I got back. But I'll tell y'all more about that in part 2. Now, if you're already rocking with part 1, go ahead and like this video. Go ahead and put some comments down below and tell me your thoughts on this. And also look out for the pinned comment and for me in the community tab where I tell y'all when part 2 comes up about a day or 2 later. So my queens and kings, you know what I want you to do, and that's what? Stay blessed and stay royal. See you in part 2.